Hey everybody, Eric here on Friday, January 7th, but we're pretending that it's Wednesday, January 5th, because I've been under the weather, so I didn't make it to the comic book store uh, when I normally would, but I did make it, and so here are this week's comics, the comics from Wednesday, January 5th. Wasn't a lot, I got some extras, had some stuff claimed from their live video. But we'll get to all that. You'll see. Excuse me. See, very congested. Let's start with Darkhold Omega from Marvel Comics. I love this cover. So this is the end of the Darkhold event, or whatever you want to call it. So there was an alpha, a bunch of one-shots, and then the Omega. I've only read a couple issues so far. They've both been very good. The alpha and then Darkhold Iron Man. Very cool. Then we have Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. Apparently, her name is Harriet Finnegan. This is from AWA Upshot, issue 8 of 8, written by Garth Ennis. Fantastic stuff. It's been a great story so far. So it'll be interesting to see how it concludes. Soul Plumber, number 4 of 6, from DC's horror line. This is the book that's written by the guys from the last podcast on the left. I've read the first issue. That's it so far. Don't know where it's going from where I left off. Pardon. Basilisk, Boom Studios, issue 6, written by Cullen Bunn, art by Jonas Scharf, apparently. I hate trying to say the creators' names because I know I'm going to screw them up. This has been a really good book. Again, love this cover. Fantastic stuff. It's been a really cool book. Did I say that already? And then the last of the regular monthly issues, we have Shang-Chi number 7 from Marvel Comics. Apparently they're still doing legacy numbering, if you look at that. Legacy number 133. So what the legacy numbering is, for those of you who don't know, comics, let's say the Avengers, because that's an easy one, started. Very first issue of the Avengers was Avengers number 1. But it's gone through a number of volumes. Eventually, that book, let's say, I'm just going to pick random numbers, but let's say Avengers, the very first run, ended at issue 200. And then the next month or a couple months later, you had Avengers, a new Avengers number 1. It's considered volume 2, and that went for however long. And then that ended, and then they had Avengers volume 3 essentially started with another number 1. Let's look at this trade paperback I have. So the current run of Avengers is up to issue 50. What the legacy numbering does is gives you a number, the issue it would be if it had continuously run, hadn't stopped, had new number 1s, etc. So let me look in here. I don't know if this will have the legacy numbering on the covers. Nope, doesn't show me that kind of thing. But that's essentially what it is. So if Shang-Chi, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, whatever, all of Shang-Chi's main appearances had run consecutively, no breaks, it would be up to issue 133. I believe that counts one-shots and miniseries and all that other stuff. So anyway, that's legacy numbering. Just a little history lesson for you. And Shang-Chi number 7. When they started this legacy numbering, I thought it was kind of... I'm still not a fan. I don't care what the number would be. But I feel like I've mentioned this before in another video. But for example, the Iron Fist series that was running at the time they decided to start this legacy numbering started at number 1. And then around issue 7, the very next issue was literally numbered. Again, I'm making the actual number up, but let's say 82. Because they didn't, at the time when they started it, they didn't have the number of this series and then the legacy number, little tiny number. They actually just made the issue big, bold, the legacy numbering. So if you have that run of Iron Fist, it goes from 1 through 7 and then to 82 and 83 and 84 and 85. Really ridiculous. But apparently it's a collector's thing, which, yes, I collect them, but I read them. I'm not in it for, I don't care what volumes they are. I don't care if they're first printings, which is why, I get trade paperbacks and things. I'm not a speculator. Excuse me. Hope I don't have the COVID. But it's a wet cough. Anyway, all right, I've been rambling, so let's get back to what I purchased. Now, this is the last thing that was pulled for me for this week, and this is the Avengers World War She-Hulk. This is volume 9 of the current run, and it contains issues 46 through 50. Excuse me. This is one of the books I was getting it every month, and then when I decided to cut back on that, who can tell, I started getting the collected editions. I really dig what they've been doing. It's written by Jason Aaron. Ed McGuinness was the artist at the start. Now there's different artists doing different things. A couple storylines behind on this, but there you go. Continuing my Avengers. Then I just pulled something off the shelf. I'd almost purchased it at Barnes & Noble, but I like to support my local comic shop. So this is volume 1 of Maniac of New York. This is from Aftershock. This has issues 1 through 5. So this is about a maniac in New York. What do they call him? Maniac Harry. Unkillable and unstoppable. So from what I can tell from the back cover copy, the authorities in New York are just like, yeah, nothing we can do. Let him go. New Yorkers know to stay out of his way. But then a couple of people decide they're going to try and take him down. I'm guessing they didn't succeed since there's more issues of this coming out. But I'm looking forward to checking this out. I've heard good things. It looks pretty cool. It looks watercolored. Like watercolor art. There you go. All right, so then I claimed some stuff. And one of the things I claimed, or two technically, is the new 52 Aquaman Volume 1, The Trench, and the new 52 Aquaman Volume 2, The Others. These are written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Rice, however you say his name, Race. I hear they're very good. I believe this is the introduction of the Trench, which are the monsters. If you've seen the Aquaman movie with Jason Momoa, they are the monsters in there. Got these essentially, 2 for the price of 1. Always wanted to read them. Got them cheap, so grabbed them. Then we have Joker by Brian Azarello and Lee Bermejo. Hopefully I haven't butchered the name. This is a hardcover graphic novel I have never read. This is an older book. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Just a quick peek. There you go. It's supposed to be a wild story. $10 for this, so half price for this one. Now here's something a little crazy. I have no idea what the actual price is, unless 15 lira. I paid $5 for this. There's a hardback. It's Brian Azarello and Lee Bermejo. This is Luther. And then I don't know what the subtitle is because, if you look, this book is in Italian. I don't know how well you can read any of that. Excuse me. But more of that beautiful artwork. Let's find a good page to show you. Oh, looks great. But I'm looking for something dynamic here. Oh, there's Superman. But it's all in Italian, which I don't read, but I thought it'd be cool to have that. Have an Italian language comic book for $5. Why not? All right, that's it. I don't really have a question. I guess, would you buy a book, whether it's a comic book or a novel, got scratched up at work, anything, would you buy it in a foreign language, a language you do not speak, just to have it as a novelty item? I always say the one thing I really wish I would have done or brought back with me from Iceland was a Stephen King book in Icelandic. I thought that would have been really, in retrospect, I think it would have been a really cool thing to have at the time. I wasn't big on Stephen King. That was in my Stephen King down phase, so I didn't bother to do it, and I regret it. I wish I had an Icelandic Stephen King book. So now I have an Italian Luther comic book. I on occasion consider, like Brian Keene. A lot of his stuff is in a lot of different languages, and every once in a while I'm like, well, what if I got The Rising in like every language in which it's available? That's the kind of thing I would do if I had like a lot of spending money, but I don't. I mean, $5 I can afford. I think the foreign language, like Brian Keene books, are more expensive. But would you do it? Is that something that at all would be of interest to you? Again, just to have as a nice little conversation piece, if you will. Or are you just like, you're a dumbass, Eric? Why are you wasting your money? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is EricSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got for you this week. So until next week, read more comic books.